Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of the Greek Freaks podcast. This is where we will talk about all things history on this very podcast. Jasmine, why don't you lead us off and tell the viewers what we will be talking about today?
Okay, so for our first episode, we wanted to talk all about King Leonidas of Sparta. Leonidas was born in Sparta and he died at the Battle of Thermopylae in 480 BCE. He was the king of Sparta for 10 years, from 490 BCE to 480 BCE. He's best known for his stand against the Persians at the Battle of Thermopylae.
His battle, the one at Thermopylae, is one of the most renowned stories of Greek heroism in history. It is a prime example of showing bravery against overwhelming odds. But before we get to that story, let's take a look at just who King Leonidas was before this very battle.
Leonidas was a member of the Aegaeid house, and he succeeded his half-brother, Cleomenes I, as king. He was married to Cleomenes' daughter, and he may have supported his half-brother's aggression against other Greek cities.
Let's share some fun facts about where Leonidas was from. As we know, Leonidas was from Sparta, which Jasmine mentioned earlier. But there are many things about Sparta that people just don't really know. For example, did you know that Spartan boys had to do a strange ritual to become a man? Spartans had these slaves that were called helots. These helots made all the food for the Spartans, since the Spartans were a warrior civilization. Because they're warriors, they didn't have time to just make food and rada do all that. Become a man, a boy would sneak out of the barracks at night, and they would sneak into one of the homes of the helots at night. The boy would then have to strangle a helot with their bare hands, kill them, and then sneak back into the barracks without ever getting caught at night. If they were caught, they would be publicly whipped in front of the whole city. Leonidas went through this very process as well. And since he had to become a man or become king, that's why he did that.
Another fun fact about Sparta is that the boys were put into military school at the age of 7. Isn't that crazy? Can you imagine being 7 years old and having to start training for the military? Also, they would make the boys hug a wooden pillar and whip them. And the rule was that whoever passes out last would win. Just imagine the parents watching this happen. Because it was a public event and they would scream at their kids, telling them they better not pass out.
Can't bring shame to the family.
I think Leonidas was the boy who won. It's unconfirmed, but it is highly speculated.
All right, time for the juicy stuff. So as Xerxes, who was the king of Persia, he succeeded Darius, was invading Greece by foot. Other Greek city-states to be more exact, were trying to unite and assemble an army against the Persians who were invading Greece. Eventually, they came to ask Sparta to join the fight. Leonidas was ready to go. He wanted to fight. He was ready to stand on business, and he told them that he would come join the fight. But since Sparta is an oligarchy, which means ruled by many, the other people had to give their decision. And they said no. Leonidas was upset and told them that they had to fight. They were in danger. But the others said that they wouldn't fight because the Greek god Ares, who was the god of war, who all the Spartans worshipped, would be upset with them.
Oh yeah, And didn't he walk away? And then a little while later, he said he was going to go on a walk with 300 bodyguards?
Yeah, he did do that. Actually, why don't you tell the viewers about that? And then after you wrap that up, I will tell them about the Battle of Thermopylae.
Okay. So Leonidas told everyone that he wanted to go for a walk and that he would be taking 300 bodyguards with him. Totally believable, right? So he went to the Temple of Delphi with his soldiers. At the temple, there were oracles that would provide insight to those who entered, and they felt like they would be in the presence of the gods. What it really was, though, is that the temple was built over a fissure where gas would leak out, and the gas would make people high. The girls would live there, and they would constantly be high and babble. So they weren't really oracles, but the Greeks didn't really know that, so they were oracles. Leonidas went to go see the oracles and get consultation about what he should do about the Persian attack. They babbled their nonsense, and then the translator told Leonidas that if he didn't go, there would be great consequences, and he would be forgotten in history. So Leonidas took this advice and made his way to Thermopylae. Take it away, Avery.
Yeah, a little funny thing about that though is that because what he's about to do, he is remembered in history. So I guess those battling high oracles were right.
Mm-mm.
But anyways, Leonidas, his men, the Spartans, and soldiers from other Greek city-states, they waited at the site for the Persians to arrive. The site was Thermopylae. And when the Persians arrived, they sent a messenger and asked Leonidas if he would surrender and join them. You know, Xerxes always did that because he's just such a nice, chill guy who low-key doesn't care. The messenger said that Xerxes and his army were so powerful that they would crush them and arrows would block out the sun. Leonidas turned to the messenger and said, "So let us fight in the shade." And he killed the messenger. Xerxes, he saw this go down, and he began the charge. Greeks get in their formation, and they destroy the Persians, with very few of the Greeks dying. The kill-death ratio of this battle was 150 Persians to 1 Greek. That means 1 Greek would kill 150 Persians. Xerxes